I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry. So old habits are hard to break.
Okay, I'm just going to interrupt because my daughter informed me after spending a week at Hoosier Girls State that we all say the Pledge of Allegiance incorrectly. It should not be. For which it states, I can't even think of the line now, but it should all be one. There should not be a pause between under God. It should all be, Pledge Allegiance. One nation under God, pause, not one nation, pause under God. So.
Well,
Good for thought for the future. Yeah, you know.
we weren't going to have a second meeting of the month, but maybe we should just to practice that.
Yes, just to practice
for an
how
hour,
to say
so.
the correct way to not show disrespect. When
There you go.
Daughter should come and start leading the pledge.
That's right.
I said she needed to start a campaign in the schools to teach it appropriately.
Okay, we'll start our meeting with our distinguished attorney, Matt Shipman.
I don't feel very distinguished, but thank you. So I just have a couple of updates. One, we've been working for a couple of months on finalizing a lease for the parking lot that's over off Van Buren
Washington.
Street in Washington, I believe. It's a county parking lot that for a while has really just kind of been a free-for-all over there. We've got somebody who has agreed to, and we did it for a year lease with yearly extensions, but can be terminated by the county at any time, to assume responsibility from a liability standpoint, from an insurance standpoint, and also from upkeep and maintenance. And she's going to use it to support, I think, her businesses, which is a new business here in town. So that's the first thing I have. I think you guys have all seen this lease, and I'm actually a notary, so I can notarize it if the board's comfortable with that.
Yeah. I
Push
think
it,
we-
copy. And you approve it, you don't have any problems, so I
Yeah, I wrote it,
move
so
we
I feel
approve it.
comfortable with it, yeah. And it mainly the responsibility for upkeep, maintenance, snowplow, and insurance to cover in the event those things don't happen.
I like the liability part.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve the lease.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the lease for Washington and Van Buren parking lot.
Second.
Got a second? Further discussions?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's Washington.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't Washington go by the high
I'm
school?
pretty sure is it
Oh, I don't know what I just got the
Oh.
legal
Well,
Whitley.
Whitley goes by the school.
Whitley.
Oh, okay.
the legal descriptions, right?
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
Washington.
No more
I don't
discussion.
know the roads.
Okay.
Northwest border of Washington and Van Buren.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Just one of us?
Yeah. Maybe you.
The only other thing I have is an ordinance, which Janice already looked up and numbered. This is an ordinance to establish a revolving loan fund, and that's why Alan and John are here as well, I believe, too. The purpose of this revolving loan fund is to create a vehicle whereby we can contribute to a project that's being done through seeded funds but get repaid. And then have those funds come back ultimately over a period of time through lease payments that are set up and assigned basically back to the commissioners. So the only thing I'm not sure about is there's probably still some discussion about the term of that payback. I had initially set it back over a year. In conversations, at least that I had with the redevelopment commission's attorney, it would be easier and better if it were 2 years. But short of that, we need to establish an ordinance, and then I've actually got a loan document for you to look at. But that's the only thing forgot to ask you this ahead of time, what your thoughts were about the payback part. It's $425,000 will be what the initial loan will be. And so it translated to 23,000 a month or something. Yeah, that's not quite right, probably. 40,000 a month.
Year's kind of short.
And I set it up that way because I didn't know, I hadn't gotten feedback from you guys.
Yeah, no. 2 years, I don't have an issue with you if you go
Yeah,
into
I could go
24
2
months.
years.
Therefore, we need a motion to approve that it goes to 24 months.
Yeah, so the first motion, frankly, we need is a motion to adopt ordinance 2018-03, which is an ordinance that establishes the revolving loan fund. Then, after we get the revolving loan fund adopted, then I just need to know for sure the terms of the initial agreement, which I have right here, and then we can modify that.
Okay.
I move we approve 2018-03.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve ordinance number 2018-03 for establishment of a revolving loan fund through CEDAT. Got a second? Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Now, do we need to take care of that 24-month now?
I just need from you guys, for you to tell me which you want it to be. I've actually got the loan agreement already set up, then we'll just modify the note to reflect that. And it'll be in the lease payments, which actually, more importantly, in the lease, which we're collectively all going to get council to approve tomorrow. The lease payback is where the money comes back, so Andy Boxberger is actually working on that part, so. So just tell me, I suppose, if it's 2 years is comfortable, I'll relay that to Angie, or to Andy, and then that's what we'll present to council tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. 2
I'm
years is-
comfortable with 2 years.
Council will actually then approve that lease payment back, so.
They may change it, but that's okay.
Yeah, but, okay. The only other document then as I have is this is the actual construction loan agreement, and this is set up, George, for your signature. This was in the packet that John sent to you guys. The only difference is that in looking at the way the structure would work is the loan agreement is actually, it was set, we based this off of a project that was done in Allen County. And in Allen County, the loan came from the Redevelopment Commission, not from the commissioners, and so we just had to change, so that's the only thing different from the one you saw, is that now the lender is you with the actual seated monies. I don't know if you guys have anything to add at all, or that I misspoke about.
I think anything I would say is the so. Although I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has them.
And this is the same agreement that we've seen already.
It's the same agreement you've seen already, except for the lender, instead of being redevelopment commission, is now the commissioners. That's the change that it just
Well,
made.
I think that's what we just talked about.
Which is what, it's just, it's a circular structure, and it was. set up a little bit-
2018-03 spells that out anyway.
Yeah,
So,
that's what the revolving loan fund is, yeah.
Yeah. So we've technically already approved it.
well, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, that's just the
By-
term of the
by
actual
approving
loan. This
2018-03.
establishes a revolving loan fund. The nice thing about this is, to the extent we want to, and now that we've established a revolving loan fund, we'll have this vehicle to use potentially for other projects in the future.
Sure.
If that makes sense, to do this process kind of.
Sorry, I mean, I will add something, so, yeah, the nice thing about this, at the last commissioners meeting, you tabled this project because we needed to kind of tie things down a little
Yeah.
bit, and so Matt and Andy have got together, tied it all down for us, so we're, getting a process in place that's more, again, kind of tied down and documented and everything, so for future projects if we need to have it all in place.
Other than that, I don't have anything else unless you have questions for me.
Anything from intelligent out.
There is, the couple lawyers that we had found and identified in Florida have given up the search in Florida as well. And that's where the presence was. They have judgments similar to ours in size, and the last contact we had several months ago was that they had spent a lot of money trying to collect and had not gotten anywhere. And so, at this point, we have a judgment. That judgment's perfected for 10 years. So to the extent that the company gains some momentum and starts active again, we still have the judgment that we could try to collect. And I'm not suggesting that we forget about it forever. It's just, I think at this point, it seems like there are lots of people looking for it. And
Yeah.
It's not fruitful and
Yeah.
be a waste of money, I think, but
Okay.
Did we have any personal clawbacks at all on that?
did not, unfortunately. I think something definitely to make sure in the future there's personal guarantees, and this guy's got plenty of money. It's just at the time, nobody had any thoughts how that one was gonna turn out, so.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Kim Erdly, change in vendor.
Thank you.
This is Kim Erdly, she's our county assessor.
I think you have copies that I gave to Jana
Yeah.
to give to you, yeah. George has the entire contract, or the proposal, that is, to switch. I'm proposing and going to request from council, not this month in this month's meeting, because obviously there was proper notice publication that needed to take place before the request of the additional appropriation. So I'll actually be on the agenda for next month's meetings to actually put forth that request for the additional appropriation to switch software vendors for our CAMA system from the current system, which Thomson Reuters has. We've had them for a long time here, to the Xsoft. Xsoft offers a lot more than what Thomson Reuters does to us. Currently, we have had the AS2 system that has we put all of our sales disclosures, our appeal information, our personal property information goes into that. So we pay service to two separate outside vendors, and then, of course, to Thomson Reuters. Xsoft will offer all of that under one roof, so to speak, and the support actually comes out less than what we've been paying between the two, with the increase in Thomson Reuters support. Over the course of the last 3 years, it's been an increase of about $4,000, with a lot less support given back to us. That's the main issue. No tickets will have to be submitted for support like we do now, in the constant wait that we have, possibly to have to email back or place a call to someone and you don't get a live person. We'll have that with Xsoft. With this, there's 3 licenses that are included within their proposal to be able to have a tablet service in the field. So we can eliminate the printing of all the property record cards for our cyclical reassessment, along with the maps that Dan has to print us for our reassessment. They'll be able to actually mark up a property record card in the field. Wow. And it'll be really, really nice to be able to eliminate that process of things, make our cyclical reassessment go a lot smoother.
Well, how come this hadn't been done earlier?
I didn't have authority to make that request.
All right, thank you.
Will this have any effect on, because you have to roll this information out to, Jen, is this compatible with you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, I was gonna say, I believe
Yes,
so,
they-
yes.
Well, I mean, I think it's important that
Yeah.
it is, so.
Xsoft they deal with several auditors' offices that still continue to have a Thomson Reuters system. So that process of it is not a problem. Yeah.
I think one of the things that made me more comfortable was the fact you've already worked with it up in Noble County, so
And they're
you know
wonderful.
the system.
Yeah, and
That's-
it will allow us to operate so much more efficiently. Honestly, after when I came here, I felt like I was taking a real step backwards for what the system offers and what, for our function that is, for what we do in the assessor's office. And we hadn't even started the cyclical reassessment at that point in time. And now that we have all that extra responsibility, it will be very, very nice for us. This is very good timing too. I kind of have been waiting for everything to come to this point. We're balanced now with the auditor on our real and personal property values. We did that on time, by the way.
Good job, thank you.
And so we started our next pass on our 4-year cyclical reassessment in May, as of May 1. We haven't been able to do any data entry with that yet because we have to wait and go live with the 2019 database until we balance with the auditor. So the timing of this is really a good time for the conversion and start live in that system rather than to start when we start doing data entry for reassessment and then have to stop and go through a conversion. The timing is, if there's a better time, this is the time.
Paula, what do you see timing-wise, get this up and running?
Xsoft is, they'll be ready, hopefully with approval from council next month for the additional appropriation for it to be done for this year.
And the money's coming from reassessment fund.
That's my request, yes.
But I would make a motion that we give the council a favorable pass on the Xsoft
Second.
change.
Okay, we got a motion to give a favorable pass to the assessor to change to the Xsoft software. We got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Kim.
Okay, thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Paula Worden, Community Corrections Update.
And
Paula and Julie.
She's the deputy director. I guess we're supposed to introduce her.
Yes, please.
George, I'm not sure if everyone has this pack, so you're going to get another one.
Yep, thank you.
Ma'am?
So what I just handed out is the approved budget. Back in January, Julie, Amy, and I appeared in front of you and presented the 2018-2009 Community Corrections Grant application. What you have in front of you are the funds that were approved that Community Corrections will be responsible for administering. The only additional funds we received from the state was they awarded the courts a pretrial service coordinator part-time position. That person will report directly to the 2 judges and just begin on assessing what a pretrial services program would look like in Whitley County and what services would go through that office. So that's a part-time position. It's effective July 1. We will be asking in front of council tomorrow for an additional shift supervisor. That's not funded through the state. It will be funded through user fees. That will include the salary and benefits. So nothing in county general. We were not awarded any Veterans Treatment Court funds as we requested. However, we were notified by the Office of Court Services that that program is going to be funded through them. So our Veterans Treatment Court is good to go.
Okay.
So this will begin our 29th year of funding with the Department of Corrections. On July 1, we completed our 28th year of operations. We're growing and continue to grow.
Done a great job
Been
for
there that
us.
long?
Not that long, but close. On the pretrial services position, though, in January 2020, all counties are going to have a pretrial program of some sort. So we're just trying to get ahead of that and know what we're going to do when it becomes mandated.
Can you explain that position just a little bit, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, I think there's 3 or 4 pilot counties that are trying out programs. This is where people go to jail, they get arrested. There's a tool that we can use to go into the jail and assess them right away to determine their level of risk. And once we determine their level of risk and their prior history, then we can make recommendations to either keep the cash bond the way it is. We can make a recommendation for an OR bond. We can make a recommendation to let them have a bond, but maybe under some supervision, and all that goes underneath the judges. Basically, how it'll affect us probably the most is that we sometimes use that cash bond to pay for different things such as programming and other things, which is not what it was originally designed for, but that's what it's kind of morphed into over the years. So we're going to have to make some adjustments to how we do things, but we just want to get at least a year and a half head start on that. So
Okay, so this is just leading up to that.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a full-time position eventually.
Okay. Is there a training program for that, or how do they get trained for that?
Well, we are
The
going to...
assessment tool has a training.
The assessment tool, yeah, there's a training through the state that they'll do. But as far as the other stuff goes, is what we plan to do is just steal from other counties and see what's working in other counties similar to our size. And,
Sure.
And use, what's working for those pilot counties, so.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Ooh, we're not even smart enough to ask a question, are we?
Probably better off not asking.
And Amy was funded at the same level that she was last year for probation, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right,
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work.
Yep, yep. Next on the agenda, we have Scott Wagner, our health director.
As you know, Dr. Hatcher resigned her position as health officer, and Dr. Burkett's going to precede her. And we have his paperwork to sign for you. The board has approved him. And his replacement on the board is Dr. Lieb. And we have his paper here for him to replace. So here's the date.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to approve them or just sign it?
Is
Say a
it,
motion,
yeah, one motion for the two of them or one?
whatever you'd like. I'm all for efficiency, so how about we do both?
Yeah, well, guess I'd make a motion that we approve Dr. Burkett as the county health officer, right? And then Dr. Lieb as to take his place on the county health board.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion. We got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Great. You'll sign these for me?
Thank you, Scott.
Then also I had on the agenda to talk to you about the sewer district. As you know, the Whitley County is promoting regional sewer district, and we've sent out and done the board's gone out and done lots of interviews with the homeowners and sessions for information, and we're in the stage where we're gathering votes to have projects to go before IDEM for funding and then possible construction here in Whitley County. A lot of these projects, most of the projects were initiated by the health department giving the board a list of locations in the county that we've had experience with that have either failing septic systems or no septic systems. And so we kind of prioritized that, gave out the list. And on that list, there have been several communities who have voted to reject that sanitary sewer coming into their location, whether it be a small town or a subdivision, something like that. And so I brought this before the health board, letting them know that there's a reason why these communities were put on a list to begin with, because of past failures or issues with septic systems. And our goal for creating the sewer district was to help improve the waterways and ecology of Whitley County. And so I got the health board's permission and coming to you for your permission, if these areas that have been indicated as a septic issues reject the sanitary sewer, that the health department can no longer stand by and wait for a solution for these locations, and that we would go in and start investigating the E. coli levels that we're finding either on the exiting tile of these additions or the ditches that are nearby, and start tracing these E. coli levels to individual homes. Since I've been here for 21 years, we've kind of couldn't really do a whole lot with a lot of these communities. These properties don't have large enough areas to even do a repair septic system, let alone a up-to-code septic system. And so we've waited this long for a solution, which would be sanitary sewer in most cases. And if they're going to reject that, we've got to still address the environmental issue that's there. So I want to make sure that you're aware of this, because there probably will be some public outcry with the health department when we send out a letter to, 70 homeowners in a subdivision or 40 homeowners in a small town, letting them know that the health department will be doing physical surveying of their properties. I just want to let you aware of that and see if I have your blessing on that, or if you have a different suggestion for how we approach that.
I think you've done a great job. I think we just need to pursue your recommendation.
Well, anytime we survey a property, we'll make sure that we are sending out a letter ahead of time to that homeowner, so letting them know that in the next however many days or months, it's possible that they may see a personnel from the health department on that property surveying that. And if they wish to say that they do have septic problems already, to contact us and we can work through a solution on that.
What happens if they try to refuse?
If they refuse for me to enter their property, then I have to get a court order. And I would have to have justification for that, so.
Which I think is our way of saying, we're not just going to march on your property and do this.
Right.
You can't without a court order, so.
Right, state law says that we have to give them notification. Our existing county ordinance lets us enter properties for terms of inspections during normal daytime hours, or however it says that. So, with identification, of course. So anytime I go on a property, first sending out a letter, then secondly, showing my badge at the homeowner's home, and then walking on the property, so. Any questions at all, or?
Oh, you don't have a choice, but
My
this,
assumption is the Board of Health said,
Right.
Yeah, thumbs up, right?
Agree to that, yeah, that we have to address the issue to begin with. I mean, we're not out there trying to just create a situation where people hook up the sanitary sewer for business sake. We're there because there's been past failures of septic systems, or there are no septic systems, so.
and I think what's important is, and I think I'm saying this for any member of the press that's here, why now? Why now is because prior to this time, you had no other choice. They had no other recourse. Now with a regional sewer district in place, there's another choice.
I mean, other communities in the state have taken the stance when they go in and find, 40 homes that go to the ditch, that they just condemn those homes, and we have not taken that stance. We've tried to find a better solution, and so we're offering one, and if they really don't want to choose that option, then we got to figure out another way to do things.
Sure.
And this also helps our stance with that MS4 entity to being
Right.
identified.
Right, I mean, that's the whole thing. This is a top-down approach from the federal government mandating that we had clean up our waterways so that meet EPA regulations. And this is one stance that we're showing the state and the feds that we're proactive in our approach to getting this done. So.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. And thank the Health Board.
John, did you have anything further that you wanted to present?
I just throw in, I just to let you know, I got a message from Congressman Banks' office this morning saying that we had just gotten a $30,000 federal rural development grant awarded to support our small business and entrepreneurship initiatives at the EDC. So
Great.
A little happy news. And last thing is we're waiting for a call from Katie DeWitt that the last we knew that she was either in the hospital or on her way to the hospital. So we'll see.
Well, we wish her all the good health, and
Yeah.
her and her baby.
Hope it goes well.
Yeah. Okay, right-of-way permits. Okay, in the absence of Brandon, we have one permit from Indiana Fiber Network for Lincoln Way and Old US 30.
Boring.
Yeah, residential, or directional boring.
Not necessarily boring, but not exciting either.
True.
Okay. Okay.
all right, move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion to approve, we've got a second, further discussion. All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same. Thank you. Paperwork was just.
Oh, I think,
I'll check it.
I think there was 3 to sign.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one we have is East 300 North. That's Indiana Fiber. Frontier Communications on this one. East 300 North, it'll be directional boring also, south side of the road of East 300 North.
Move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion to approve, we've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
I don't know if it was informational
Yeah, I think that's just informational.
I don't know if you guys are supposed to approve it.
Oops, it goes over here.
Was this approved? This is some information that we got from Brandon on moving the gravity sewer line at the highway department. I don't think we need an approval or anything on this, just information for the salt barn.
Oh, okay, okay, cool,
Good.
cool.
I think he was going to present that to the.
Oh, that has to go through
their
Oklahoma
Board of-
City, doesn't it?
Yeah, Board of
Oh,
Public Works.
I see, okay, okay.
So do you know if that was sent or not, or?
I think he just handed it to me and
Okay.
I don't remember him saying anything about it.
Since he's doing it on behalf of the commissioners, I guess
Yeah.
we just have to be aware.
No motion required, right?
Bill.
I don't think so. Do we need anything on that? Okay, everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes. Any questions, any amendments?
Look good to me. I move we approve them as presented.
Got a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We've got a second, and this is for June 18th, 2018 minutes. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Okay, claims, I think Don looked at those.
I make a motion, we approve the payroll claims for this
Got a
period.
motion to approve payroll claims.
Second.
Got a second, further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same.
With regard to the regular claims, and hate to sound like a broken record, but they were fairly boring again. I didn't really find anything, which is good. I mean, it's good, but I didn't see anything that was looked out of place.
Will we approve them?
Got a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Got a second, further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same. Thank you. Now, we appreciate you going through those also.
No problem. I won't be able to do the next one, so,
We'll get it.
but there won't be a meeting associated either.
Okay. Angie?
I
Nothing?
think we're good.
I do have one more thing.
Okay.
The agreement with the SRI, I had a chance to look at that, and it looks fine. It's basically the same agreement we've signed before, so.
Okay.
There's two separate agreements here. One is for the tax sale, and one is just the master agreement.
Yes, Rai is who we contract with for the tax
Yes,
sale, right?
for
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty long period of time at this point, I
Okay.
think.
I'd make a motion, we approve the contract with SRI.
Got a motion to approve the contract with
Second.
SRI. Got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same.
So,
Oh, my goodness.
Should we make these separate motions?
Yeah.
Okay.
One's the addendum,
Okay.
I think, and so.
Need a motion for the addendum also.
okay.
Move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion to approve the addendum to the SRI contract for the support services. We've got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. That's the master map.
So,
Did we come up with an agreement with Mark on the use of the facilities, our facilities, the buildings?
I think maybe we need to spend a little bit more time on that. Angie and I talked about it this morning, so maybe if it could go on the agenda for the first meeting in August, I think we'll have
Okay.
between Angie and Mark, get everybody happy, get it to you guys ahead of time. And then
Everybody okay with that then?
Yeah, that's fine. We really want to do it right the first time.
I just thought of one other thing that maybe you guys might be hearing about is that all the notices went out on that right-of-way project, just so you guys know. So I don't know if you've gotten phone calls about it, but so there is publication and then individual letters to the individual homeowners. So just letting them know that, hey, that right-of-way you kind of always thought we had, well, we're going to actually claim it, kind of, is what we're doing. So I can't imagine a whole lot of people are going to be surprised that they didn't already think that was the right-of-way, but it is what it is. So just in case you guys are getting phone calls about that.
I'm pretty quiet, I think.
Yeah, and we kind of didn't expect it to be a big deal, because most people think they don't own it anyway, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Did you have anything else? Jana?
The only thing I have is I just wanted to let you guys know that we heard from the State Board of Accounts officially, and they will be coming in on starting Monday, and they will be auditing 2016 and 2017.
Ooh, they're catching right up, aren't
They
they?
are. They're doing good. So.
That's gonna be another cost to us.
It is. It is. It sure is.
This time, 35,000.
Yeah, it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
That it?
that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner? you have
Nothing.
anything? Commissioner?
Yeah, I hadn't said anything to you guys because I'd kind of forgotten about it, but back after we wrecked the Escape, I thought I'd better check with a couple of the other people who had the Escapes as far as the condition of their vehicles and what have you. And Community Corrections gave me this, and it's quarterly inspection, and I personally think we ought to bring this on board for not counting county highway, because I'm sure they do that all the time, but for the other departments who have assigned vehicles, I'd like to have this quarterly. It's not rocket science,
That's
but
great.
it's just pretty good.
I have them.
You do? All
I
right.
had them from January, I haven't received.
Does anybody fill them out? Do
I
they?
get them from the sheriff's department, anybody that has a vehicle, the health department, planning and building.
You run those past me? Okay.
I have current, well, as far back as I can find. I don't know how far back they go, but I do have
It's
those.
very interesting because I swear I never knew they existed. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, I really like that form. Because like I say, it's fairly simple. But if it showed a poor tire on a vehicle, then it's time to get that tire replaced. We don't want that kind of stuff. So, okay. If you'd share those with me, I'd appreciate it. Okay. That's it,
Thanks,
sir.
Angie. The only thing I've got a couple of little things here. Whitley Works is ask us to, it's through the school system, and it's a program that they, that if the students go through this Whitley Works program, where they're asking us to be able to give them some kind of an acknowledgement, or if they get their certification through Whitley Works, that shows that they show up on time and they've got a good work ethic, that we're willing to do one of, a job interview, guarantee a job interview, pool preference, increase the pay by 5 or 10%. 12 different items that they've got here. I think you've all had a chance today to look at it, but I'm not sure legally what we can do on that, Matt, because as far as
I'd have to look at it. I'm not.
guaranteeing a interview, I can see that, but, we can't do anything as far as increases in pay or,
Well, we don't actually belong to the program, do we?
no. And that's what they're asking us to go into partnership with them.
I mean, I'd be happy to investigate it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so I don't even.
Lori Hewer has been involved with that, and she does a great job, and
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it, and from what
Yeah.
I've heard, I just.
it's a program that they have down south in southern Indiana someplace, and just encouraging kids to get into the workforce and knowing what they're getting into as far as you need to show up on time, you need to show up, and then have a good work ethic. And if they get this certification,
Employers would appreciate all that.
yeah. With this certification, then it proves that they're aware of what needs to be. So I'll let Matt have that.
Okay, all right. Does it kind of sound like an ICE program?
A little bit. I mean, kinda.
Yeah. I really think it's a great program. It's been, again, we had a presentation from one of the other counties that came up. It was in Indiana, was it on that one? Yeah. And they were having great success with it. Their businessmen and business owners around them appreciated it. Plus, it was good for the school system to be able to have that program. Our insurance company is asked that we have an appraisal for all of our county buildings, so I just wanted to make you aware that they're saying, they gave me the name of a couple of different places, and they're looking at probably around $2,000 to $3,000 for appraisal for all of our buildings, which seems really cheap to me compared to what I've seen before. So we'll get a hold of this company and
Okay.
but what our insurance company has said that we're probably underinsured because it was, the last time we had it appraised was 8 years ago, I think.
It's been a long time ago.
I don't know how you appraise the courthouse.
No,
Cost to
no,
rebuild it, I think.
Yeah, that's about all you can
If you
do
had to rebuild, oh boy, it'd be expensive.
in current standards. CEDAT plan right now is at $678,000, which is good. And I think that's about all I've got. Anyone from the public? Barbara? Could you state your name?
Yes.
Okay.
Barbara Hohenstein, 2555 East Beach Avenue. I and some of the neighbors at Tri-Lakes have a concern. There is a property at 5499 North Fish Hatchery Road that there was a methamphetamine arrest and conviction, and the house has had a condemned sign on it since February. The deputies have been called there on several occasions with strange men leaving the house with property. The second time, the deputies did speak to those men, and they were allowed to leave with those boxes. It was my understanding the house should have been locked and secured, and why are they leaving with contaminated materials? There's also a burnt-out couch behind the house, which is definitely a safety hazard. So I and other neighbors are curious as to what the policy, procedure, and legality of allowing people to leave that residence. The only property owner is the one that was convicted and has been incarcerated. she's the only deeded owner on the property. So I'm here to ask the county the policy and the procedure and why strange people are leaving with boxes of things from the house.
Should not happen. And that's Scott Wagner's bailiwick. Do you know that? Have you talked to
Yes.
Scott?
Yes. I haven't spoken to Scott, one of the neighbors did. But then one of the neighbors received a call that they may have to testify. And now the neighbors are calling me because everyone's frightened to come speak to the county about the issue. I don't know what that's all about, but there seems to be a level of intimidation about calling in.
For what reason?
Excuse me?
For what reason? Why are they intimidated?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I think your question about is that right, leaving your stuff is absolutely no. It's absolutely not right. Once it's been labeled as a meth site, and I can only think of the one that happened up on the Anderson Road, absolutely nobody could be in that building.
Well, the neighbors even stated one day the side door was wide open.
Wow, okay.
Now, the only thing we could do on that would be to board it up for the health department because of,
And the locks I would assume should have been changed, but apparently someone had access to it.
Do you know if the state police has been in there? Because they're the ones who come in and do the chemical.
I did not obtain any police reports.
Okay.
the one thing I will tell you that Scott's working on that right now because the current owner of that is being given a chance to remediate the issue. And if they don't, then the county will tear that house down. So he's in the process of right now working with, trying to determine whether, okay, does it get sold? Is the current owner going to sell it, remediate it? And it has to be remediated one way or another, but that's what's happening right now. I did talk to Scott not too long ago about that.
Okay.
I think the key is, though, we've already had several calls, which makes the sheriff's department, have to come up for no reason at all. If that house had been secured properly, there should be no one entering and leaving that home.
There may be not communication between the sheriff's department and the health department on that, though. If Scott doesn't know about it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah,
Has to be.
but we can check into that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want any of this documentation?
Sure.
So I can talk to Scott, and he has the policy and the procedure?
Please, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Call for the motion.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.